Super League basketball is leveling up British youths. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ellesmere Port Sports Village for the final time this season, the last Sunday night here at the Cheshire Oaks Arena. And for the Phoenix, they're 40 minutes away from a trip to the O2 and the playoff final. They did the hard work on Friday in Manchester. They come here with a big lead, unless Manchester can find some way of returning the favor here. A 28-point deficit Manchester need to overturn in the second leg to prevent the Phoenix from making it through to the final. It's Sunday Fun Day at the Cheshire Oaks Arena. Cheshire Phoenix against Manchester Basketball in the second leg of the playoff semi-final. Daniel Routledge and Azania Stewart with you for this one. Yeah. Z, a monster performance by the Phoenix in Manchester on Friday night.
Just outstanding. I spoke about it, you know, in their first round against Surrey, just playing so well, then leading right into Manchester. I wasn't expecting this. I thought it was going to be a much closer game, but Dickens right there, he was incredible, especially in the second half. Those 9 points in a row. I just thought they are playing so well, and they're looking even better.
Well, they were pretty good in the first half, but in the third quarter, they really blew the tie open, and that was the thing where Manchester kind of lost themselves for about 5 or 6 minutes, and in the aggregate system, you just can't do that.
It was a 30-14 quarter. You cannot afford those meltdowns. You have to stick in and dig deep, and Cheshire just, you know, were all over them.
And Cheshire putting up 100 points for fun in every playoff game. They've so much offense that it's hard to get 28 points ahead of them, as Manchester are going to have to try and do today.
Well, you know they're always going to put up points. That's one thing they do well. But what I was impressed with was the 19 turnovers. They turned Manchester over, were able to score quickly on them, and that was what they just kept chipping away and putting up those 100 points.
Well, let's get confirmation of the playoff semi-finals this weekend. They were both away wins. London winning by 19 at Leicester. Leicester had it to about 4 in the third quarter, and London got away from them. Cheshire running away in the second half to win 78-56. It is tied at 58 in the second leg in the Copper Box. Leicester led that by as many as 12 in the first half, but London have reeled them back in and looked set to punch their ticket. They're just at the start of the fourth quarter in that game. It looks like the Lions are going to progress, and they will take on the winner of this contest here, which, as I say, will be in the favor of Cheshire Phoenix, or a potential London-Cheshire final in the playoff next Sunday at the O2 Arena, although Manchester and Leicester still have some time to squeeze their way in. Tickets on sale right now at access.com. Z and I will be there next Sunday. Make sure you are as well. Well, earlier I caught up with the two head coaches to see their thoughts ahead of today's game.
Well, a massive hole for you here in the second leg. Firstly, looking back to Friday, where did you think it went wrong for you guys?
Yeah, well, transition. You know, 51 transition points. I think they only shot 26% from 3, but they didn't need to hit the threes because they were up the court before we knew it. You know, we stopped executing in the third quarter. I think the first half the score was 47-40, and you know, a team like Cheshire can put up 47 points, but you got to stay strong and keep with the game plan. And you know, I think guys panicked a little bit and tried to solve it themselves instead of continuing with the game plan. And in an aggregate game, it's very costly. You know, we only had 16 assists and turned the ball over 19 times to get out rebounded by 10. You know, credit to Cheshire for playing the game they played, and we played our worst offensive game of the season.
Well, Ben, another tremendous first leg by your team. We'll get to the defence in a moment, but offensively in these playoffs, your team is in top form.
Yeah, I think it's us though. You know, we're the best offense in the league for a reason, and I think we just got to make sure we double down on that at this time of season. We don't want to change who we are, and I think, you know, even though we scored over 100 points again, I think we did lack in some areas. We had way too many turnovers, some sloppy turnovers as well. So there's definitely improvements for tonight.
And a lot of talk around their three guards. You kept them to 10 points each, a combined 30 points. That's a big job at the defensive end.
Yeah, they average 52 points per game between them normally. And, you know, that was top of the scouting report, and it is today. You know, they aren't going to get back into this game with Nicholson rolling to the basket and scoring 2-pointers all game. It's going to be the guards shooting. So we've got to do a good job. It's not just individuals. It's when they're in the pick and roll, it's us playing team defense. It's us making sure that we keep pressure on them as much as we possibly can.
And obviously it's a bit of a different scenario with the aggregate and having such a big lead. How much of it is about, similar to last week, keeping it to today's game and not bringing into the aggregate score?
Yeah, and I think last week couldn't have happened at a better time for us because of the slow start that we had. Although Surrey never got very close, that sort of like 9-2, 11-4 opening just made us a little bit more uncomfortable than we probably needed to be. So we know the importance of a fast start, and we just got to keep the pressure on them the whole night.
Well, one of the guys is Zania, who knows his way to the O2, been there before with the Cheshire Phoenix a couple of years ago, LaQuincy Rideau.
Well, one to watch. I thought we could have picked anyone. They had 7 guys in double digits on that Friday game, but Rideau is playing, and he's really the head of the snake of this Cheshire team, not only scoring, but also those steals. For me, how he just sneaks in. We always talk about it. 3 steals, he had 3 assists, 15 points and 5 rebounds. Just bullies his way to the rim like always. And if you don't watch out, he'll come in and sneak that ball as well and steal it away from you.
Well, he's playing like a man on the mission in the playoffs, isn't he? He looks like a guy who knows what this is all about and how it's going to end, and he wants to flip that script up from the last time they were in the playoffs.
Exactly that. But also what I love what he's doing, obviously wide open layups, but because he's such a strong and great driver, the defense have to respect him, and then that's where he's able to drop off the dimes.
And one guy who came out looking pretty good on Friday night, Tim Adetokasi, was really the one-star performer for them.
Yeah, and you know, such a shame that he didn't have more backup, and I think Coach spoke about it, that their worst game of the season was Friday. It's not a great time to have a bad game, and you know, they said they haven't lost 2 in a row, but he was the bright spark, and he has all season. His strength around the rim, his touch, his ability, who's guarding him. So they'll look for him again early, but also they're so guard-orientated. But the guards held to 10 points.
Yeah, that was really the problem. I mean, we saw him go to the basket maybe a bit more than he usually does. It was an efficient 21 points as well. Obviously, British Team of the Year as well. For Tim Adetokasi, he's had a great job. And just talking to Coach Houghton before the game, it's sort of like the problem for them is this format does not allow you to lose 10 minutes in the way that they did in the third quarter last week.
And that's it, you know, people have talked about, oh, should we do a series of 3 like the rest of the world does? But it's difficult. You've got to have your mental game in check all the time, because you slip up and Cheshire will make you pay.
Well, here's the starting 5. Matt Nicholson back into the starting lineup. They've sort of mixed and matched whether they go with centers, whether they don't go with centers. It's obviously a tough place to come for a 7-foot center to be chasing around the shooting centers that Cheshire has, but it is Nicholson in there. They do keep Mitchell in there, so they've got plenty of size out there. They need some defense. That's their issue tonight. They've got to somehow keep Cheshire to a low number. Well,
they kept them to 0 of 5 from the three-point line in the first quarter, which I know they'll be happy with, but then it was the transition points. It was how they turned over the ball. It was very not like them at all,
yeah,
really.
It was. I mean, it was 12 minutes before Cheshire made a three-pointer on Friday, which doesn't happen very often at all, and you'd think you'd be in a good spot, but they didn't take full advantage, as you say, because Cheshire were running. Cameron, in particular, I thought was very aggressively going to the rim. Here is the starting 5 for the Cheshire Phoenix. But, I mean, you mentioned it, 7 players in double figures, just offense everywhere you look.
Yeah, every guy is looking, you know, for their own offense, but they're sharing the ball. I talked about how well this team has been playing down the stretch into the playoffs. They're glued in, they're on the same page. It was so impressive, and I think that game just shows it. 7 guys in double digits. Anyone can go off.
Well, for the final time this year, the Cheshire Phoenix make their way out onto court here in Ellesmere Port. The fans ready to celebrate, ready to book their tickets for next Sunday. But first, the small matter of seeing it home over the next 40 minutes of playing time. Diggins and Nicholson to jump it up. And it is Cheshire who will get first go at it. LaQuincy Rideau with the ball. Feeds it down to Brenchley. Kicked out. Round to Cameron. Off the mark for 3. Well, he was all at the rim in the early stages of Friday night. Tobias Cameron thought he really set the tone early for them.
He really was. He was unstoppable at times. But we know what he does on the defensive end, but good to see his offense going.
Mitchell creates for himself off the mark. A little flat on that one.
Good boxed out, and, you know, Cheshire did out-rebound Manchester as well. 50-30 on the rebounding end.
Well, the other thing from that game was we fall in love with the offensive numbers all the time as Diggins misses the 3. But Brenchley, who only scored 5 points, was plus 30, the biggest plus-minus in the game. They were winning minutes when he was out there, for sure. Here he is trying to come up with a rebound. Nicholson gets it, added to Cassie. Still the scoreboard has nothing to do. Nicholson gets us going.
And that's why Nicholson's in there, right? Clean it up, good finish around the rim.
Deep one from Skylar White off the mark. Rebound Jones. Out to Adita Cassie. First 5 points of the game on the board for Manchester.
Well, we spoke about him at the top of the broadcast, that he's able to stretch the floor and playing confidently.
Well, win each quarter by 7. It's the simple maths. They got the first 5 points, but Diggins gets Cheshire on the board.
Outstanding finish by Diggins there. Had some monster dunks, and those 9 in a row for him.
Carry, is it? Yeah. Jones was trying to hand it off as he sort of got his hand underneath the ball, and then it was a illegal motion, basically. Rideau. Round the screen. Back to Diggins, looking for 3. Knocks it down, scores the tie.
Way to set his feet. Lets it fly.
Mitchell, cross court to Jones. He fires up the triple, that goes.
Yeah, that's a lovely pass. That's hard for defense to recover.
Rideau drops it off to Diggins, too strong on the layup. Knocked loose by Rideau, but there's a foul in there. It is on Diggins rather than Rideau. Big travelling support, as you would expect. Short trip down the M56 here from Manchester to Ellesmere Port.
It's crazy, right? Because you work all season, like ourselves. We've been here every game. But for Manchester, you know, this could potentially be the end of their season. Their feet are in the sand tomorrow.
Brenchley blocked by Nicholson, but fouled over the back. The other thing about that is, such is the nature of sport, you almost never, in any sport really, return exactly the same team. So sometimes this is the last time you will ever play.
So true. It's a great job by Nicholson here, hawking down Brenchley. Timing is perfect. You're right. You know, and it's tough, and there's moments that these are your brothers.
Yeah.
You know, you spend more time with them than your family, and on the road, it's...
You think with Manchester, all those trips to Europe in ENPL as well, getting all the way, the highs that they've had and the lows that they've had this season, getting to 2 finals, losing them both. It's been a slog for them, and I guess it's kind of the way it ends as well. If you get beat on the buzzer or something like that. But
and you really got to give them their flowers. You know, it's been a tough season, but a successful season, in my opinion.
Season of growth, I think the word was from Coach Otten. And they've still got another 33 minutes to try and extend it somehow, some way. Blocking foul is called on Cameron. Jones, quick release 3 off the mark, rebound Brenchley. Here's Cameron, driving quick, going underneath and laying it home.
And that's the thing, because of that quick, fast shot, they're not able to get back. And Cheshire had 29 fast break points on Friday.
Pass deflected, Brenchley comes up with it. Numbers here, White on the trail. Off the mark, there's Cameron on the offensive glass. He's blocked by Johnson. Brenchley comes up with it, forces it home.
Tough finish with Nicholson, multiple defenders around him.
Jones scoops it out to Johnson. Mitchell knocks down the 3.
It's a good second chance. Move the ball by Johnson.
Policelli, little step away 3, replies.
Splashes it in, Dan. Nothing but net.
Well, I think from Cheshire's point of view, they just want to keep this game on the main scoreboard as Johnson runs down the lane. They want to take the aggregate scoreboard out of play and not let Manchester think, well, actually, it's only X or Y. As long as you're playing the game at 13-13, happy days as far as Cheshire are concerned.
Well, right now, Manchester's rotations on the defense wide open. Skylar White.
Johnson tripped from behind by Cameron. That's going to be the second one on him. Zona and Robinson coming in for Cheshire. Ossaboyan for Manchester.
He got hit by that massive Nicholson.
Yeah, it was a big old screen.
That's a wall.
Mitchell has it ripped away. Zona diving on the floor for it. Policelli. Another little step away. And he has a think but goes.
You know, Johnson's right there in his chops and still able to get space.
Well, Jones, I think that went through the legs of Rideau.
Nutmeg.
Oh, nice little crossover. And the finish from Jordan Johnson.
Pretty. He was incredible in the cup final, wasn't he?
30 points.
Yeah. It was the bright spark.
Zona short on the 3. Nice pass out to Cassie. Good challenge by Zona. Well, actually, maybe not, because a foul is called. Irvin's going to come in for Manchester, placing Mitchell.
Yeah, nice pass that is solid.
Three points already for Adetukasi, had 21 in the playoff game on Friday night, the first leg semi-final.
Missed them both.
Oh, fans enjoyed that for sure. Robinson kicks it out. Polucelli back to Robinson. Ossaboyan in front of him. Gets past him to the rim. Ossaboyan does enough to make that difficult. Adetukasi off and running. Adetukasi slams it home.
Massive dunk. Managed to go coast to coast.
Rideau taking it right at the chest of Ossaboyan.
And that's
Gives
the problem.
him a flex.
That's the problem with Manchester. You score, but you don't get back and match up. They're going to put it right back on you.
Johnson with the step away. Foul called. Polucelli caught him. Johnson to the line for three.
Polucelli asking for a flop, but he would want that foul too.
Yeah, true. The issue really for Manchester is you win by 28, you're unlikely to win 136, 108. If you're going to win by 28, you're going to have to win 98-70.
Right.
You've given up 21 points in 326. It's hard to get far enough ahead.
Yeah, and at the pace that Cheshire play at, the depth of their bench, you know, they don't drop off. It is really hard.
Well, Phoenix already scored 103 times in the playoffs this season. It only happened once in top flight British basketball that a team scored 103 times in the same playoff season. That was the Leopards in 96-7. They scored 130 and 114 against Leicester in the two quarter-final games. It was best of three back then.
You're going in your stat bag.
You then go to the final. I hesitate to mention it because it was the Jets who got beat. Chester Jets got beat in overtime. Real heartbreaker, 102-101. Then they got to the final and lost the Leopards in the London Derby in one of the great finishes. Robert Youngblood was playing in that final, the London Lions assistant coach.
We had some records this season. It was the most 3 points shot in the game. What else did we have?
I don't think me or you took any of those threes.
No.
We just watched them.
I mean, very true. We weren't playing. Threes
made and threes attempted in two different games, I think it was, wasn't it?
And was it? Did they beat their most points?
I think, it was a points record as well.
And Skylar White beat
Skylar White going past Pirro, of course. Well, there's been plenty to watch here on a Sunday night in Ellesmere Port, that's fair to say. Certainly if you love your offense. Here's Carey in the corner. Everybody boxing out, nobody gets the rebound. Broken up by Brenchley. Thrown long to Robinson. Robinson lays it home, and the basket will count. Mitchell will get called for the foul.
Tremendous job. The way Robinson gets out and just finishes so strong. Another guy that we could add to our accolades this season of getting to the free throw line, finishing on the left-hand side, talking to the cameras, letting them know. He's had a really breakout season.
Things to go, and 1 or 2 MVP chants from the Cheshire fans along the way. He's certainly, obviously, in Team of the Year, so he's got to have a shout at it.
When do we find out?
I think it's this week.
Yeah.
It'll be before the final, obviously. Is Mitchell short on the three, tipped in by Ossaboyan.
Do you have a vote in that?
I might do.
Oh, okay. I mean, you're the cool kid around here, not me.
Here's Zona. I can't tell you who I voted for, though, but it gets
Did I ask?
It gets published.
I know. I know it's under wraps till next week.
I honestly don't know, by the way. I know who I voted for. I don't know who anybody else voted for. Here's Lindo. Brenchley, late shot clock. Well, a bit of a hospital pass there. Not a lot he could do with that, but it comes back to Brenchley. Brenchley lobs it up, and it's jammed in by Mike Diggins.
Just put the cherry on top right there. And yet again, another one of those steals and turning Manchester over.
Not loose by Diggins. That's going to go back the other way. Brenchley's been involved in everything in the first 8 minutes of this contest, hasn't he?
And the reason why is plus-minus was so high, but it's his constant effort of being in the passing lanes, having his hands active. This is the nice little alley-oop play.
Oh, big round of applause for Jackson Brenchley from the fans behind the bench as he sits down for the first time. Zona for 3, and, well, Manchester came in needing a big number in the first quarter. What they didn't need was Cheshire getting 30-plus in the first quarter. Ossaboyan to the rim will go to the line. Well, if Ossaboyan makes this, he'll get a break as Nicholson is ready to come back in.
Yeah, you can see he's gassed right now, trying to catch his breath.
Skylar White returns to the game. Well, he'll have to keep going, Ossaboyan, because the free throw is missed. Ooh, did Mitchell catch Rideau there? I'm not sure. It's in the corner of my eye. There was definitely a coming together.
Yeah, and Rideau's talking to the referee about it.
Robinson. 3 white shirts around him. White's going to have to get it away. He's not going to get it up in time. Shot clock violation.
Solid defense there. Smothered Robinson. Then again, Skylar White to not even get a shot off. It's a great defensive possession.
Well, Rideau is still asking the question of the referee. It looked like the referee says just a coming together. But I don't think those two shy away from contact. I think it's fair to say. Or talking.
A bit of both.
Here's Carey. Mitchell out to Johnson. Fires up the 3 off the mark. White does a great job of keeping Nicholson away from it, but Mitchell gets it, and Mitchell hits the 3.
Good reload from Mitchell.
Oh, Rideau sees a lane to the basket and can't quite lay it home, but he is fouled by Zach Irving.
You see what I mean, Dan?
Yeah.
With the issues that they're constantly having. And I know this Phoenix team plays at Formula 1 speed, but you're scoring and you're not able to get back. You have to stop the ball early on this side of the basket, or this side of the court. But no, they're just letting guys like Rideau, Brenchley, Robinson straight to the rim.
Well, on that one, he came right past our commentary position, LaQuincy, so we're looking right down in the same lane he's looking at, and there was a huge opening to the basket, and he's like, well, I'll just take that.
Why not?
All the way to the rim. He gets 1 for 2. I mean, they already got 13 points off turnovers, Cheshire Phoenix, which shows you how they've run. Smith. About a 5-second, maybe 6 differential between shot and game clock. Johnson. Johnson is fouled by Diggins with a big swipe, and he'll go to the line. Well, we know one of our finalists for the O2 next week, the London Lions, have ended up running away with it in the fourth quarter down at the Copper Box. 78-65 they beat Leicester in the end. Leicester gave it a good old go. They were
considering
up by 12.
What they've gone through as well.
And they lost Travis Evie as well. He got injured in the first leg, so he didn't play today as well. They were without well, a ton of players, basically.
Their whole starting 5.
Their whole bench was essentially Loughborough.
Yeah.
And
you have to be healthy.
Yeah.
1, going into the playoffs, but 2, playing London.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they did a great job getting to the semis.
Getting through past Sheffield, and it gave London plenty to think about in each of the two legs, but never had enough. So the Lions are there. They punched their ticket for the O2. And as it stands, it looks like it's going to be a London-Cheshire matchup. There's a little pushy-shovey here. There was a bit of a bumping between the two. Nothing over the top, but neither getting out of each other's way.
And they're not going to. And Johnson needs to just back up because...
Well, referee Dodds has brought calm to proceedings. One of our most experienced officials. You can see there's just a little bump, a little shove, a little something. Then I'm going to walk into you and nudge you back. I think they both got a warning out of all of that.
As I would always say, Dan, boys
will be boys.
Yep.
Well, Rideau can't make the front end of two.
Yeah, you know what style is. Doesn't matter if they're up however many aggregate, 106 to 138. They're both, those two are two competitors that aren't going to give up.
Well, that's an ambitious pass, and it's stolen away by Rideau, who heaves the three and caught by Ossaboy. And that'll do it for the first quarter. Exactly what the Phoenix wanted. Put 33 on the board, and then you don't have to worry about what they're doing.
Exactly that. And, you know, what a start. And maybe just a bit of a depleted, exhausted Manchester team as we come into May. The British League is a very, very long league, you know, long season. And I think they're on E.
Well, it's one of those things as well that when you get beat like that, you sort of go, oh, have we really got a chance? The legs feel a bit heavier in that situation. I mean, both teams shooting the ball really well here in the early stages. The problem for Manchester still goes back to Friday night. You can't just go up and down with them. Something has to change.
Yeah.
Well, 5 steals as well.
Yeah, there we go.
Cheshire, 13 points from turnovers.
Yeah, literally what I was going to say. But also they've hit 5 threes. They had 0 threes in the first quarter. So that one's stamped in the books. Dan, what's been your highlight of let's do Cheshire well, you commentate everywhere, don't you?
Yeah,
the SLB season.
SLB.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Any moments? You've put you on the spot. We've got time.
I've got time to think that out.
Yeah, I'll think of mine too.
Well, actually, one of the moments of the season, I hesitate to say that, but it was actually Max Jones's game-winning 3 here. It was incredible. What other game that was, Cheshire against Manchester, but I need to get out of here before the end of the game, so I can't pick that.
No, I like that. There's been some real great games this season. I've loved the Manchester-London battle going back and forth.
To me, actually, part of it as well is watching Cheshire play everybody else, because stylistically, the Phoenix are way out on a differential scale to everybody else. That seeing teams, how they deal with it or not, and there's been quite a lot of or not here on a Sunday night, is fascinating. That whole sort of, I know it's not a moment, but it's...
You're right.
Nice finish from Lindo.
Yeah, you're right. And, you know, teams have to come in here, especially in their home gym.
Stolen away by Lindo. Driving hard. Foul is called. I think that'll just be a regular foul. Ben Thomas is asking for unsportsmanlike. See what the referees call. To be honest with you, I think we're too keen to give unsportsmanlikes this season. That is a regular foul. I saw one in the London game that, to me, was never unsportsmanlike. Well, it wouldn't have been called in other leagues.
I know you...
Once you pick the ball up, for it to be unsportsmanlike, it has to be just overly aggressive or for too long. If it's in the, if he's still dribbling, it's a different rule, and therefore I can see why you could call one there. But once he's picked the ball up and he's in his steps, it has to be a lot for me to be unsportsmanlike. Yeah. But I also understand. I've seen enough of them to understand why you asked the question. That's my grumpy old man rant.
No, so far. No, I like it. It's a great point. Got to ask the question.
Here's Smith. Jones. Jones drives high off the glass. Great finish.
Really good job from Jones there. Eyes up on the rim.
Robinson spinning into trouble. Somehow gets the pass out to White.
Wow.
What an assist that is from Robinson.
And Skylar White just being disciplined enough there to give him that baseline pass.
Nice pass. Nicholson rocks the rim.
They lose the big fella underneath the hoop.
White. Well, it would have been a good pass if Nicholson was on the team. It went right to him, cutting to the rim. Added to Cassie in his favorite spot. Corner three is good.
Rattles it down. It is his favorite spot, and no defense anywhere in sight. And what was I saying earlier before Lindo's steal is that you really have to come in here and beat Cheshire.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they're not going to...
Yeah, they didn't give it to anybody here. As Robinson goes to the rim. Three for Mitchell is good.
2-point game.
Well, you're talking about records that we've seen. I think we're going to see the first team score 400s in a playoff series this evening. The rate we're going.
Yeah, we are. Both teams just going up and down, up and down.
Foul is called. Lindo sits down, Brenchley returns.
That was also a plus for Cheshire on Friday. 41 bench points. As you bring Brenchley back in.
Jones going the long way around. I think White got a piece of that. Good play from Nicholson. Realized he was going out of bounds, threw it in the chest of White, who is out of bounds, so therefore it's a Manchester ball. That frustrates you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this play upsets me when it happens, but it's so high IQ, understanding, putting it on Skylar White.
Jones off the mark. Nice pass. Here's Brenchley. Robinson. Oh, leaves his man on the floor and lays it home.
Ooh. Robinson is really in his bag for a good couple of days, finally getting himself fully healthy.
Ball is loose, away comes Robinson. Robinson back to Brenchley. White wants it, fires up the three. Rebound Robinson, oh, he misses the layup. Oh, he's on the right side, is that it?
I was gonna say it, but I didn't wanna say it.
Added to Cassie. It's a little fadeaway. Little Nowitzki, 1 foot shot doesn't go.
Yeah, Robinson a lefty.
Policelli down the middle, lays it home.
Timeout.
Well, 48 points. We are still 6 minutes and 22 seconds from halftime. Cheshire up by 8, over the hill and far away on aggregate. But 48 points in
too much.
13 and a half minutes.
Too much. And sound a bit like a broken record, but this is where Cheshire overwhelm Manchester, just because they don't drop off from the depth of their bench. Their style of basketball and their culture here is the exact same way. Next guy up, they're running fast, they're gunning, they're playing tough defense, playing physical defense. Nicholson's here asking the referee, saying, hey, he fouled me. But the thing is, if you stay back and complain to the referee, guess what? The Phoenix are down the other end and scoring very, very quickly.
Well, Cheshire scored 65 at Surrey in the first leg. That was the highest score at halftime this season. That is well within reach with 6:22 to go.
a nice sign. Coloured that one in nicely.
It take a long time to do all of that.
You're not colouring inside the lines, are
no,
you?
No, I'm not. I don't have the patience. Well, without getting too far ahead of ourselves,
yeah,
it's going to be a lot of offense against a lot of defense next Sunday at this rate. Because Cheshire, best offensive team in the league. London, best defensive team in the league.
Yeah.
Something has to give, talking of the clash of styles. Here's Smith with the pull-up, knocks it down.
A stunning from Smith Jr.
There's the old adage that defense wins championships.
It does.
Which is true, but offense wins games.
You got to put the
and
ball
if
in
you've
there.
only got one game to win, offense can beat defense in one game.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think what's changed, and I would say this last 2 months for Phoenix, is that the defensive end has been so much better.
Yeah. And obviously they saw London a few weeks ago and
beat them.
Stuck it to them.
Yeah.
Johnson takes the bump foul. That'll be a...
Only thing... Sorry.
Yeah, the sideline ball.
Only thing I think positive for the London Lions is this will be their fourth and final.
Yeah.
Cheshire hasn't made one yet, and I know that you've made it in the previous season, but it's different to be in a massive stadium.
Yeah.
The lights are bright. It's a long day.
Yeah. Just thinking
for us as well.
White and Rideau, the only two
have been there.
remaining from the previous time the Knicks made it to the O2 Arena. Nice little scoop step from Robinson. He's a guy who likes the lights pretty bright.
Yeah, and the confidence of Robinson. In fact, oh man, it's oozing out of his skin as the crowd chant.
MVP chance again, Z.
Who did you vote for then?
I can't tell you, Z.
I'm just sad I didn't get a ballot. Nobody called me. I know.
Shocking.
So sad. Who do I need to speak to?
I don't know. But he's sat on the baseline. Wiped off the rim by Shelton. It was only one shot, so that is legal. It'll be an end-line ball. If he tips it in, it's worth 2. But if he tips it away, it's fine.
Great minutes from Robinson. Really good job. He's got 13 points already in this half. First guy in double digits.
Lindo turning back to the middle. Plucked off the rim again by Shelton. It's thrown away. Lindo is there. Brenchley is out in front. Added to Cassie chasing him. Won't catch him. Laid in for Jackson Brenchley. And they're up to 54 before the midpoint of the second quarter. Jones driving in, no way through. And that's going to be a Manchester ball, is it? No, yes, it is. It's a great block by Skylar White.
Everyone's in my way.
I know.
Referee,
coach, we were craning to see the whole of the action. Fortunately, the replay helped us out.
Thank you. Great backup defense from Skylar White.
Rideau right down the middle. Wow, plenty of contact there, no whistle. Smith throws it up to Shelton, who can't catch the alley-oop. White is fouled by Mitchell to stop the break.
Well, it's more of a track meet than a basketball game right now. It's up and down, up and down. And that favors Cheshire Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, Manchester can play at speed, but nobody over the course of the season can play at the speed that Cheshire have played and the way that Cheshire have played.
For 40 minutes.
And I would include London in that, because when London have beaten Cheshire, they've held them down. And you think of the games early in the season, a couple of times where they only made single-figure three-point shots, Cheshire. And the Quincy Rideau waving them off as if to say, your season's over, go home, lads, because it's a 15-point lead, and there's still 4 minutes to halftime. Well, demoralizing, you would say, for Manchester right now.
really. And they look it, actually. They look it.
You ever been in a situation like this where you're in a elimination game and you're down by a lot, a long way to go and hard to come back? You ever had that as a player?
I don't think so. I've been up by a lot.
Yeah, I knew you'd been up by a lot.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe in Hungary when I was playing for Page. Maybe I think there. It's tough though. I have.
That's my
Great
thing.
Britain as well.
The mindset thing where you still got 24 minutes to play, but the aggregate score is 163-120. You're not coming back. It's how do you how do you motivate to keep going like that?
Yeah. Well, Coach Otten talked about finishing strong with their heads high, and they said they just wanted to finish with the win. Kind of what Surrey said. You know, they had blown that first game, and they were just looking for the win. I liked how they came in here last week.
Well, there is Mr. Ballhawk himself, LaQuincy Rideau, trying to force a turnover again. Smith. Mitchell. Back to Smith. A little floater in the key is good.
It's tough. Especially over Skylar White. Ooh, Rideau acting up.
Blocking foul is going to go against Jones, but Rideau is in full highlight mode right now, isn't he?
He's in a flow. Really. I can't say enough about LaQuincy Rideau, reason why we wanted to pick him one to watch. There's not many things he's been doing, you know, wrong. Usually sometimes the fouls get him in trouble, but has been controlling that.
Gabe Ossaboyan must have said something to the referee.
Oh dear. And just maybe a bit of frustration kicking in already.
Well, he wasn't involved in any of it. Policelli gets a 3-point out of it. Nicholson coming in. Well, Mitchell doesn't look very happy as he walks off the court.
He's very
animated,
upset.
Yeah. So Irvin's come in for Mitchell.
Right, well, Rideau will shoot his, these are the foul free throws.
First one doesn't go. There's still plenty of discussion going on between Mitchell and his coach.
He's upset, saying coach isn't fighting for it. This is tough, you know. This is really tough.
Wow. It's all unraveling slightly.
Yeah.
Here is Adetukasi in the corner for 3, knocks it down.
That's good basketball. That's where they have been successful this season. The drive and the kick, hitting threes.
White for 3, doesn't go. Adetukasi goes underneath, good finish.
Back-to-back buckets for Adetukasi, 5 points in a row.
Brenchley. White for 3, off the mark. Adetukasi trying to get his hands on it, comes out to Smith. Jones is going to take the transition 3, that'll go. And Ben Thomas, for the first time in the game, feels the need to talk things over.
A quick 8-point turnaround for Manchester, and maybe that's what Mitchell's talking about. We need to fight, we need to dig deep. And that's a nice little run for them.
Yeah.
At this point, you've got to look at all the positive, right? What are the things you can build on? What has been successful for this team? This is it. Nice. The defense has to respect the drive, then the kick out, then a fast break. All nice little momentum swing for Manchester basketball.
And again, it's that thing about, you talked about, sorry, just win the game. Forget the aggregate, go out and try and win the game and at least take that away.
What's my Arsenal?
I don't know. I don't know.
Let me check. Thank you, cameraman.
Arsenal's
Arsenal a big game today. I'm a North London forever. Okay, still 0-0 against West Ham. Oh, gosh.
Is it true that everybody other than North London is supporting West Ham today? Is that true? Both sides of North London supporting West Ham.
West Ham need it because they're
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're going to be
Everybody
relegated.
except Spurs and Arsenal surely wants West Ham to win. Surely.
I don't want Spurs to be relegated, even though I'm an
only Arsenal fan in the world.
It's just not. I live in that area.
Yeah.
So for Tottenham to go out, for that whole area, is just not going to be a good thing. You know.
Not even for the comedy value for one season.
It's a once in a generational thing. Yeah, great, but nah.
There we go. Anyway.
Sorry.
Who knew we had football expertise as well here? Let's get back to the basketball. It's a 7-point game. 2.5 minutes to go. Rideau with the speed mismatch here.
Ooh, beat him.
The other thing, he's missed the layup though. He's got the strength as well to deal with that, Rideau. Jones looking for 3, and suddenly Manchester have cut it to 4.
Oh, 12-point run.
It was 59-44, 11 on the math. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
wasn't
all right.
my strong point.
Here's Zona out to Brenchley, almost loses it. Got to get it up. Brenchley dances to the corner. That rattles out. Zona trying to get the rebound. He's on the floor. That'll deflect out off Irvin's leg and be a Cheshire ball.
Robinson back into the game, and Rideau will head out. Rideau with 8 points and those 3 assists and a couple of steals to go with it.
Lobbed into Lindo. Robinson driving. Slapped on the back of the head, I think. He'll go to the line again.
Nicholson saying, I didn't touch him. But that's the difficult thing when you're guarding a smaller player as a bigger player. They're going to attack your feet. You've got to back off of him, use your length. But it's difficult. It's easier said than done. I had many of those days, you know, when you switch on to the smaller guard and they
chasing
start
them about.
Yeah, licking their chops, thinking, yeah, I'm going to beat her to the rim. No, you're not. I'm going to block you at the end.
Oh, it's been over 2 minutes since Cheshire got the scoreboard ticking. The scoreboard operator, that left hand, will be like, oh, I got a day off here. 2 minutes without having to press the home button. And they still haven't scored. Shot clock getting low here. It's out to Zona. He hits the 3, and finally they break the 60-point barrier.
Oh, turnover.
Not quite. Adetukasi able to rescue things.
That was very risky.
Adetukasi couldn't get the lane to go, but Lindo and Zona got in each other's way, so it will remain with Manchester. Adetukasi for 3. Rebound, Jones goes straight back up. Zona with the board. Technical on Coach Otten for his protestations. And I think, well, A, he deserved it, but B, I can understand his ire there.
And his frustration, maybe.
Yeah.
He's been asking.
Free throw is good. Be an end line. We'll go back to where the play was. End line ball.
All right, our last minute for halftime.
Robinson. Kenny has this matchup with Nicholson. Well, somebody must have kicked it.
Ooh.
It was Nicholson's boot, so it'll be an end-line ball to the Phoenix. And Ben's going to use his second timeout here. 45.8 seconds to go. Phoenix one score away from equaling or potentially bettering the most points at the half in a game this season, a record they set last week. 35-12 bench points thus far. All of these stats as they swing through, I think, are going to be in favor of the Knicks. Manchester have got a few fast break points here in the last few minutes. 8 steals to 1. Certainly helps boost the points off turnovers. That 10 turnovers to 2.
Yeah.
Cheshire have looked after the ball really well.
Yeah. But you can't, you know, let Cheshire score in the 60s in the first half.
Yeah.
There's our leaders. Robinson's had a field day. 13 points, played really well. Adikasi also with 13. He's been excellent too, actually. He's been their spark, really.
In both legs.
In both legs. Reason why we picked him, yeah. We haven't really seen him down in the paint too much, but shooting the 3
your
well.
Your mate's not smiling there. Does he miss something? Because you haven't missed it, Z.
Nope, we're up 1-0.
You need to run up the crowd there and tell him. Here's Lindo.
He's locked into this game.
He is locked in.
Checking that.
Tell him at halftime. Lindo looking for 3. Back iron. Smith. Out to Cassie looking for 3 more. Not quite. Policelli with the rebound. Do they slow it here? Run for the last play? No, of course they don't. It's Cheshire. They go. Oh, no, he has circled out. Robinson is going to wait. There's a 2 or 3 second gap between shot and game clock. Robinson drives, tosses it up and in off the glass. 65 on the board at the half. PJ Smith from inside his own half, not too far away for the second week in a row. Cheshire Phoenix have put 65 on the board in the first half. It is the 2 highest scores of the season, and they pulled it out in playoff time.
Yeah, they have. And Robinson leading the scorers with that last bucket with 15 points. And you're right, they're just really difficult. I'm kind of lost for words. What else can I say about the Cheshire Phoenix right now?
Well, they will head to the locker room. You feel like this has got to be the easiest team talk that Ben's had all season. 10 points up in the game with a 28-point cushion to spare.
Yeah. And
just go out and play, lads.
I would love to be in Manchester's locker room right now.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Some interesting. They're going to be some tough words are going to be said, and this is it, the adversity and the toughness and the fatigue and, you know, maybe a bit of pointing fingers, but...
Yeah, and the proximity to the end of your year as well.
That's a great point.
That journey home is not too far away right now. And while total and utter control, the only journey that Cheshire are thinking about is the one down to the O2 next week.
It's a London town.
Yeah, there
my
we go.
side of
yeah, exactly.
the woods.
Put some glum faces on the Manchester bench, that is for sure. Well, just remind you, London have already punched their ticket to the O2. They won the 4th quarter by 13. That was the difference in the game. The scores were level going into that. Leicester did at one stage lead by 12 and threatened the aggregate just for a little bit, but not for long. They are there. It looks like Cheshire are basically there as well. So if you're a Phoenix fan, you got 10 minutes, 12 minutes to get on access.com and get your tickets, or you can wait for the club announcement. There'll be a special section as well. But if you're not, just get along anyway. Sunday the 17th of May.
Great night.
The climax of the season, the O2 Arena in London, and we will have a couple of great games for you. Sheffield have made it through. Did Caledonia make it through in the women's game? I saw they were up at halftime
I'll check
against
that.
Essex,
We'll
but I
find that
didn't
in the
see what
second
the
half for
final
you.
score was with that. I think it'll be Sheffield against Caledonia. It all but looks like London against Cheshire, but we've got 20 minutes left to play here in Ellesmere Port. Z and I will be back to bring you all of the action in about 10 minutes' time.
Super League basketball is leveling up British youths. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
Welcome to Utilita Arena for the first major final of the Super League basketball season. History waiting to be written.
The first final of the season, and it couldn't get much better than this. We are underway here in Birmingham. Nice pass down court. Mullins catches it. What a finish as well through the contact. Rob has to heave it here. Can't get hold of the ball. Does get it away and banks it in. Hatters in full flow right now. Kick to the corner. Harrison for three. Got it and one. And the celebrations can begin.
Now we won the trophy.
The Sheffield Hatters are the Betty Cadona Trophy champions. It is the Lions era against the defending champions, the Newcastle Eagles. 40 minutes to decide who's the champion. Jack has long ahead of him. Phil finds Cole Long for the jab. Zadamu open for three and he knocks it down. Brown attacks the rim and jams it in. He's hit it! Cole Long for three! And the London Lions have the silverware in their hands. Your 2026 Super League Basketball Trophy champions, the London Lions. Basketball here at the AO Arena.
The 2026 Super League home final is underway. Harrison drains the three. Gale to the basket. Out to Hottinger. Three is good for Ronnie Hottinger. Lewis spins to the basket. Great finish off the glass. Ciara finishes under the basket. Gale dancing around the outside, steps back. That will do it. The Sheffield Hatters are your 2026 Cup final
to the ring. To the spin move. What a finish from Gavos Savoy. Steps away. Johnson splashes. Another three. Jordan Johnson is on fire here in the final. There's McGusty and he's fouled as well. Jordan Johnson again. What a play from Tariq Phillip. McGusty does go on McGusty from the elbow, and it is London who've made it 2 from 2. They are the cup champions.
Shot to fall as Robinson's back down the floor, and oh, how did that drop? Robinson with the circus shot.
You know, I always felt like I was overlooked, so I just wanted to prove that I could play in any league anywhere. So like here they gave me the opportunity. I signed early and I was focused on just making an impact, and I think that's what I've been doing. I just want to continue to just help my team win. I don't know why, but I could tell you it started maybe in high school. I went to Philadelphia Catholic View School, and you know, I led the league in scoring, but I didn't get any looks that people that weren't performing as good as me were getting. So I just felt like I was overlooked, and I ended up going to a smaller Division II school. It was just a struggle, but I feel like it just built me up as an athlete, as a man, and just that's why I play with so much, like, I don't want to call it arrogance, but like bravado. You know, I just have a story behind me. So any chance I get to, you know, tell people, I tell them. You know, I always am going to keep that chip on my shoulder as being overlooked because I'm not where I want to be in terms of my career right now. Like, I feel like I could be a lot better individually, and our team still has losses. So, of course, I feel like I could do more. So keeping myself thinking that I'm overlooked is going to make me work harder. So there's always something to improve on. I feel like, you know, I didn't take much time to settle in. I feel like I was just, you know, at the first game, I was ready to just rip and run. I mean, obviously, like, I feel like there's some things I can be better at, but I feel like I've adjusted pretty well. I had a good off-season training, and, you know, I could just, you know, just jump into a really, really good league like this and be just fine as long as I got some good teammates and good coaching. I mean, we lost a lot of games that we should have won. There's times in the game where we slip up and stuff needs to change and we need to be better. So, of course, there's a lot more to come for us. But for right now, I feel like we're doing okay, but we could do a lot better. We shoot so many threes and we play at such a high pace that once we get stops and we score, like, we kind of just a snowball effect, and it gets bigger and bigger, the run gets bigger. But it's not something that's, you know, premeditated. We just play, and then eventually the run's gonna come. So I just feel like we need to have a few more of those per game and negate the bad ones, you know? There'll be lows and there'll be highs. I feel like you gotta keep yourself grounded and keep yourself in the middle. Don't celebrate a win too much, or, you know, don't be too sad about a loss or a bad performance. You gotta always think of the next one. So whenever that game is done, you watch the film, close the computer, and move on to the next game about how you can be better. Just aggressive, you know, just determined. I'm gonna get to the shots I want to get to. I'm gonna get fouled a lot. I'm gonna play fast. You know, I like advantages, so anytime I see a little slight sliver of light, I'm gonna take the lane. So yeah, just a scorer. That's all I say. Just a scorer, just a playmaker. Going to the basket is something I've gotten a lot better at. My dad used to, you know, get on me about going to the lane soft or weak, so he made me wear a mouthpiece, and once he did that, I feel like it just opened up me going to the lane because there was no fear of getting hit or getting my teeth knocked out. So, like, the mouthpiece, I feel like, was a staple to, like, me evolving as a driver. Individually, I mean, I feel like just everything. Anything I don't get, I feel like I left on the table. And then as a team, I feel like, why can't we win everything? Why can't we win the trophy, the cup, final? Like, I don't see why we can't do it. So anything that I feel like we don't win or I don't win, we left on the table. So I come out and work every day, try to push the guys to get all that.
Super League basketball is leveling up British youths. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
Welcome back to Ellesmere Port Sports Village, where Cheshire are 20 minutes away from the O2 final. They lead 65-55 as we get things underway. I might have to get a substitution in for Z, who's had palpitations at halftime, but I think you're all right now. You haven't cracked open the champagne yet, Z.
Well,
It's Diggins in the corner for 3.
Well, we're talking about football. West Ham 1-1, and then the goal has been disallowed. So I have squeezed and punched Dan as well, sorry.
Couple of times. I needed a referee to come and look like an unsportsmanlike foul to me, but no ref nearby to call it. Here's out to Cassie, out to Smith. Late shot clock.
Foul.
Foul is called on the floor.
Clearly, Cheshire have spoken about Adutukasi in the changing room, locker room there at halftime. They double him. He is the guy who is playing well for Manchester.
Well, the notable change for Manchester is the fact that Zach Irvin has started the second half rather than DJ Mitchell, as that 3 doesn't go. Presumably related to the... Oh my goodness, what a pass from LaQuincy Redon.
Oh dear. And he points over at us, Dan.
Just to make sure we saw that assist. Here's Smith, and he knocks down the 3.
Smith there, shooting in rhythm.
Rideau, another behind the back pass. Diggins doesn't go up with it though. White off the mark for 3. Nice pass. And there is Brenchley underneath to lay it home.
Nice pass from Cameron. A little magic with that one.
Cross court to Adutukasi. Kicks out to Jones. Rims out for 3.
Nobody's rebounding for Manchester.
Cameron misses. Here comes Smith. Smith for 3, rebound Nicholson. Underneath, can't quite get it to go. Smith still won't go in for Manchester. And Cameron comes up with it. Diggins is down court. Diggins fouled and 1.
Well, good decision. Obviously, Diggins, we've seen multiple plays where he's able to high fly in, but this time Adutukasi in the way and has to double clutch. There he is.
There's your mate.
Come on, bro.
There we go. Is it done, Z? Is that the title in the bag now?
Let me check.
He looks like he's totally focused on this game.
Yeah.
He looks very calm.
Where is he?
He's very calm. I think he's that end.
Oh.
I think he's back there at that end. But yeah. Added to Cassie with the rebound.
Oh. And the Quincy Rideau, you see what I mean? You turn your back. Even though it's out of bounds, Rideau just sneaking, getting his hands on that ball.
Jones. Oh, he threads the needle back to Irvin. In and out. Manchester lid on the basket there. Nicholson going to get called for the block.
I was going to say this.
Well, Nicholson must have said something to the bench or the fans or something. The referee just says walk away. Somebody's got a warning in all of that. It's going to be a technical now on Ben Thomas. He got a warning and then just kept debating whether he should have got a warning. And all that came because Nicholson clearly said something in the direction of the Cheshire bench.
Yeah.
Ben wasn't happy with that. And ended up getting a tee for it.
Well, both coaches have got a technical today.
There's still discussions going on. And we're back underway for the action. Well, as I say, Cheshire serenely sailing to the playoff final, though you wouldn't know it out there. Rideau diving on the floor to keep it alive, but his pass is deflected. Here's Jones. Jones goes up and he's fouled by Cameron. That'll be 2 free throws.
It's a good drive there, but a great job from Tobias Cameron to full court sprint and not give up on that layup. Could have been an easy 2 points, but
when you're up 40 as well.
Yeah, and he's playing hard,
yeah.
you know? And that's it. This is their style. This is how they play. They're true to themselves. Ben just has to be careful. He's picked up that technical already.
Well, Jones, there is something at that end. Nothing seems to go in for Manchester right now. There we go, one through the rim. Oh, Jones, what a steal, and that's an unsportsmanlike. No doubt about that one. He's pulled his shorts, his shirt, and everything. That has to be an unsportsmanlike.
But Jones has come up limping a little.
Did he tweak an ankle or something on that? But I know I was questioning some earlier, but no argument at all on that one. As I say, at mid-court, anything from the side or behind is a guaranteed unsportsmanlike foul. He's had his pocket picked, he's pulled his shirt. Yeah, it's as he took off there, Jones, he seemed to tweak something. Well, he makes both, and he just says to the ref, can I do my shoelaces up a little tighter, please?
For me, I think you need to redo them every, like, 5-6 minutes, I would.
Really?
One, it's a trick to catch your breath.
Yeah.
When it's an out-of-bounds play. But as you're sweating and you're moving, they start to loosen up. And people don't redo their shoelaces, because you just don't, because they're tired. But that's how you roll your ankle. As fatigue gets in, the shoes are sweaty. You know, whatever.
I could roll my ankle walking down the street. Here's Rideau. Rideau strong to the rim, lays it home. It's true, my ankles are so weak.
Oh,
basketball as a child destroyed my ankles. Here's Nicholson driving hard. Referees look at each other as to whether it's a charge or a block. block is the call. Well, that's his fourth personal foul, so Robinson will check in. Well, a lot of perspiration on the floor, so we'll just pause while we wait for Nicholson to take these.
I mean, the rate that these both teams, whatever the score is, they are going up and down.
Nicholson makes the first.
Got a nice shot for a big guy. Look at the rotation on the ball. Good job.
He makes them both, and he isn't the greatest free throw shooter, but he's hit both of them. Here's Diggins. Diggins for three, off the mark. Tip, doesn't go. Tipped away to Smith. Smith will pull up and knock it down.
Yeah, silky smooth. He loves that mid-range. Could have easily gone for the layup. Good decision.
Robinson. Out to Brenchley. Absolutely freedom in the court for Jackson Brenchley, who's into double figures with 10.
And was just waiting patiently, wasn't he?
Smith stumbling. Irvin. Jones drops it down to Nicholson, who rocks the rim.
That's so much better, Manchester. That's what I've seen them do all season long. Sharing is caring.
Carey's going to come in for Irvin. Policelli gives Diggins a break. Robinson. Policelli got caught by Carey, so he'll shoot three.
So smart there, because he felt Carey right up under it. You like it or not, because he's so close, he just gets straight into that shooting rhythm. It's annoying and frustrating, but it's the right call, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, Jones is doing his shoelaces again. So I think he's still not a doctor. They haven't given me a white coat and a stethoscope yet, but I think there's something wrong with that ankle.
I mean, it's never too late, you know?
It might be a little old to retrain. The second one goes in, out a big old thing. There are 5 minutes left in the third quarter. You look at the scoreboard and you think, wait, it's not 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, it's 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, and this game was what I thought Friday would look like, to be honest. Dan.
Smith knocks down the three.
Smith's playing well right now. Stretching the floor, knocking down his mid-range.
Oh my goodness, no, fouls on the floor. The referee had pointed to the floor before the shot went in, but I think it hit the very top of the backboard. It sort of came at a weird angle. He ended up in the locker room.
He said, did it go in too? He asked the question.
I think it actually hit the sort of angle of the board at the top. Referees are having a discussion now about this.
Let's have a look here.
Look,
it's so high. It's so high the cameraman misses it.
They had a conversation and waved it off. Shelton will come in for Nicholson. Zona was ready to come in. So he will for White. So too will Lindo for Brenchley. Robinson trying to get the points back, is he? No, he gets it out to Policelli. Policelli drives. That'll be an offensive foul. Shelton there a long time before to take the charge.
Yeah, Shelton set. Knew what Policelli wanted to do. You're right. It does feel like the fourth, doesn't it?
Yeah. To be honest with you, I think if they stopped at the end of the three, I don't think either team would complain. Well, the fans would, because they'd get shortchanged out of 10 minutes. Well, I think the two teams would be happy enough to go, whatever the score at the end of the third, we're done. Because obviously Cheshire now, they won't be thinking it, but you know the coaching staff will be thinking, we don't want anybody to get hurt in these last 14 minutes.
Knock wood.
Robinson, corner three.
Oh,
Has
man.
he hit many corner threes? He said 1 or 2 at the top. I can't remember too many corner threes this year.
Yeah, he likes the top. I'm running out of words for Robertson to get into my Mary Poppins bag or something to try and describe him.
Rideau rebounds. Shelton.
Oh, lovely.
Steph Smith out to...
Without Dan?
I don't know what I'm talking about now. Here's Robinson with the rebound.
Robinson taking that rebound off Shelton.
Robinson to the rim, challenged by Shelton, who'll shoot 2.
And Robinson, honestly, he's playing at a whole different level, Dan, honestly. The way he's come in, focused, his intensity, his intent. He knows exactly what he wants to do every single time. He's going to be at the top of that scouting report, and it says, stop him going to the left. But it doesn't matter what you do all season long. Every game here in Ellesmere Port, we've seen him get to that left-hand drive or get to the free throw line. Wonderful job.
I think plenty of times we've seen him do it and get to the free throw line as well.
And one, we can do that as well.
19 points for Robinson, 7 of 9 shooting. He struggled a little bit from the free throw line today. But makes both there. Johnson hooks it round. Johnson drives off the back of the rim, doesn't go. Robinson out to Lindo, catch and shoot, doesn't go. Jones. Deflected, was it, by Policelli? Yes, it was.
That's such good defense, though. Lindo's there picking up the ball, and then Zona to back up Lindo. And that layered defense is really tough to score.
Even quarter so far. Not an even tie. Jones, well, how did he spin out of there? Didn't go. Brenchley feeds Zona, and patient with the lay-in.
Really nice job with Zona. Just put the brakes on. Let the defense fly by.
Shelton through the contact, down 1. Duke Shelton will go to line for a bonus free throw.
Yeah, got squeezed by the defense there. Zona.
He's still struggling, Max Jones, and his coach is going to take him out. PJ Smith come in. He's never quite been right since that breakaway. And I just wonder if that might be the end of his season as he hobbles his way down to the end of the bench. It's been an impressive campaign for Max Jones, one of the purest scorers really in the league this season. Averaged 17.5 points a game. I just wonder if he's hobbled out for the last time. Here's Brenchley off the mark for three.
Yeah, Jones, big part of their success, really.
Brenchley, there he is again in the passing lane, knocking it loose. Added to Cassie, corner three, rattles in another one.
And you know Takasi loves those corner threes. We've seen multiple today.
His 21 on Friday was his second highest score of the season. He got 16 again today.
Head coach Watson looks at his assistant coaches like, what are we doing? How do we stop Robinson?
Right. There are 8 coaches in the league who've been asking that question.
Yeah,
great finish there. Being and one as well as the foul was called. Zona, the offender.
That's a good job. And Takasi there, tough. He's playing hard, isn't he? That's the way Manchester wanted to go out, fighting and getting himself to the line.
There's Max Jones on the subs bench. I mean, maybe ties them laces up one more time and brings it out, but there's not really much need for it. Added to Cassie converts the three-point play. Well, still banging the drum, the Manchester fans. They can still win this game. The tie is beyond them, but the game is still in reach.
It's an important goal. It's kind of the only thing you have left to play for,
yeah.
right?
Lindo down the middle. That's going to be a blocking foul on Shelton, who's arguing his case. He's going, was I inside the circle?
I felt like he was set.
I felt like he was. I thought initially it was going to be called a charge. The other thing is no circle bit. It's that EuroLeague where it's automatically a foul. I don't think it is FIBA rules, is it? You looked outside, so it must be not set. I think one of the refs has said to him, moving forwards is the reason. As a defensive player, you're allowed to go in the direction the offensive player is going, but you can't go forward to meet them, so that might be the reason.
Might not have a stethoscope or a white jacket, but you got the referee rule.
Well, yeah, I might.
You need a whistle on your great shirt.
Yeah. We've been through this before.
I know, back
takes
in
me
the
a few minutes to warm up.
No way you could keep up with this game.
No, I couldn't keep up. I'd be on the halfway line spinning round. I'd be the trail ref at both ends as Shelton misses the layup. Robinson going strong and going to the free throw line once again.
Yeah, again, tough. Shaking his hand though, it's not what you want. Sorry, going back to the referee, and if you're the front referee, you have to be in front of the fast break.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to be trail ref at both ends, so therefore I'm just
going back to the front one though.
Yeah.
You have to be in a full-out sprint.
Yeah.
To get to that baseline so you can see. That's not easy.
It isn't easy. Not here on a Sunday night, for sure. You can find you a team that walks the ball up and down the floor. That'd be a different thing, but there's none of that goes on here.
Yeah, they get their steps and calories burnt in on the Sunday fun day for sure.
Well, Adetukasi can't quite get hold of the ball, but Shelton does. Shot clock is on, but they should pretty much take the last shot here, Manchester. Not quite the 99 they had at the end of the third quarter in the first leg against Surrey, but pretty damn close to it for the Cheshire Phoenix. Smith to the rim. Shelton got a hand on it, tipped out of bounds. 0.9 of a second. Lindo's going to get it. He's going to dribble and he's going to heave. I think it's late. Doesn't go anyway. Not sure you can dribble and shoot in 0.9 of a second. You need 0.3 of a second to get a shot away, so 0.6 for a dribble is a bit short. Doesn't matter though. Cheshire in total and utter command, 10 minutes away from the final in the O2. And, well, all they need now is for everybody to get through fit and healthy in the last 10 minutes.
Well, you know, great game for them, and so many things you can really pick out. The bench points aren't obviously on here, but 50 bench points for Cheshire. Sorry, it's going to be chuck a duck moment. So
10 steals as well. I mean, that's kind of been their MO defensively. They're looking to turn you over and get things running. Oh, Z, you've gone high with the old chuck a duck thing.
I went left.
I can't see. There are two people stood right in front of me. I'm just going to throw it and hope.
Oh,
I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what happened. But back to the game. And, well, I guess if you're Ben and you're looking for stuff to pick up, you've missed 11 free throws.
Yeah.
They've got 92 points, so it doesn't really matter that
still,
they've missed 11.
You want to clean up a few things. I thought that was better, though, from Manchester. They do win that quarter, 29-27. Look like themselves much better, playing their style. And especially Adetukasi. He has 19 points, with Smith and Jones with 16 apiece. Robinson with 22 points, leading all scorers. Brenchley with 10, Radeau with 10, Diggins with 12. So yet again, and Policelli with 13, you know, 7 guys with double digits on Friday. And 5 today, but still a whole quarter to go.
Well, White and Lindo could join them, so could Zona. They could get to 8. Smith. Johnson. No way through there. Glance back at the clock. There's still 8 seconds. Now he drives hard, and there's a bump from behind
Can see
on
that
Robinson.
there. Yeah. Well, Jordan Johnson really been the highlight for this team. You know, undersized, but plays like he's double the size. The confidence, the ball handling. I've really enjoyed watching him in that.
We haven't had 6th man of the year yet, have we, announced? I've been away, so I haven't seen everything. I don't think it's been announced. We've got probably the 2 leading candidates here, have we, Johnson and Robinson?
Oh, yeah, Robinson comes off the bench.
Yeah.
You're right.
Surely, as Lindo finger rolls it in, surely it's got to be one of those 2.
Lindo's speed. Always love how he plays coming off the bench. Yeah, 6th man of the year, yeah.
In theory, they could both win MVP and 6th man of the year. It's not happened before, but the 6th man of the year is a relatively new award. It's only been going a few years in British basketball.
Imagine that if potentially Robinson
both of them have the possibility of that. And here they are going toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano, although Smith steps in to steal the ball away. Drop back to Adetukasi, and he throws it straight to Diggins. Robinson gets it to Cameron, blocked by Shelton illegally. And that will count. I think it must have hit the backboard before he got his hand to it.
Here's the breakout. Tobias, puts it on the glass. interference. 7 o'clock, Dan, which an hour?
Well, it's going to take something spectacular here in the last 8:28. Robinson lays it home, and Cheshire on the verge of 100 with still 8 minutes to play. Smith, his 3 rattles out. Rebound Diggins.
Jones is next to me, Dan. Looks like he's coming back into the game.
Well, nobody has ever scored 100 points in 4 playoff games in the same season until now. Cheshire Phoenix break another record.
Wow.
For the 4th straight game, they've scored 100 points in the playoffs. This offense is relentless.
It's firing, honestly, the way that they score, and we've still got so much time to add to it, and they started like that on Friday, added to it, and now today, this is a well-oiled machine.
Wow, this is a beatdown, really, as well, is the other thing. They just keep on chugging. We're talking about points. They got to, was it 128 against Surrey in the first leg? That was the 2nd highest in a playoff game in British basketball, top flight British basketball history. I referred to the Leopards earlier, who were the only other team to get 3 100-point games in the playoffs. They had 130 in that first one against Leicester. That was the series where defense goes round the house, because it was 130, 122, followed by 114, 105.
What, no defense?
Yeah, it was the 90s. You just keep going. Back underway at 29 in 8 minutes. It's a lot. If there was a team that could do it, though, it's in black. Jones trying to draw a foul, looks to the referee, but doesn't get anything. Robinson trying to get to the basket, does draw a foul. Well, didn't look anything wrong with the ankle there for Max Jones.
Robertson's going to need a nice bath.
Yeah.
An acting career after basketball. You know, he looked straight
Victor
down
Delroy
the
sort you out.
Yeah, Mr. Lindo. Looks straight down the barrel of the camera. This is great job again, but it's the herky-jerky, it's the pausing, the strength, the ability to stay in the air, take the bump. Might need to go in, do some research at Thesaurus maybe, for new describing words for the final.
Yeah.
I'm not on the comms, but I'm on sideline reporting, so maybe I can use it then.
Slip one in.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, Robinson at the free throw line.
And he continues to fill it up. Well, they'll be getting their tickets as soon as the game is finished, you can be sure. Dropped off to Shelton. Oh, my goodness, Sona with the denial at the rim.
And that's what I'm talking about. They're up so many points, but sticking with it, staying solid, not getting lazy or complacent or feeling like they've just done the job. They're working, and a great block from Zona.
Nice pass. Shelton tries to go the other side this time, and that won't count. So he will go to the line instead. That one had a good old think and dropped in for Duke Shelton. Second one is clean. Robinson. Zona looking for three, doesn't go. Rebound Johnson. Johnson into the key, tosses one up, it goes. Nearly a steal.
Yeah, Johnson though, nice little push shot deep into the paint. Right decision.
Zona this time putting it on the floor. He's on his knees, can't get back up. He's going to get a 3-second violation. Well, that turns it over. Well, it hasn't always been aggregate score in playoffs, but the biggest margin over 2 legs in a playoff game, 47 points. What are we at now? It's 28 and 11, so 39, not too far off that. There's Leicester against Glasgow in 22, May 22. They won by 21, and then back at home in the second leg, won by 26. The biggest ever aggregate margin was 80 points.
Wow. When was that?
That was, you're going to ask me, well, I haven't got it up now.
Sorry.
It was Derby. I think it was Derby against Bracknell.
It's way before my time.
Yeah, way before. It was way before your time, Z. That much I could have told you. Without
Zona.
Zona fires up the 3. Doesn't go. Go out of bounds. Nicholson will check back in for Shelton. Yeah, Bracknell Tigers against the Derby Rams in January 1989 in a trophy quarter-final.
Guess when that year was.
Was that the year you were born, Z?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. As Johnson tosses it in. It was 68-107 at Derby in the first leg, 114-73 at Bracknell, the old pit, in the second leg.
Great job, drive from Lindo there.
Just trying to remember if that was the year Nick Nurse played. Maybe it was the year after that Nick Nurse played. He was player coach at the age of like 23 in Derby, but I think it was 1991 off the top of my head. Rather than, that would have been 88, definitely wasn't 88, 89. I've got skewed too early there. Robinson to the rim, doesn't go. Laid home by Adetukasi. There'll be some combo, though,
Yeah.
if Nick Nurse had have played in that game
Okay.
to be part of the heaviest ever aggregate basketball defeat and an NBA champion. He would be one of one in that category, but not
For
to
sure.
be.
For sure.
I just wonder, actually, if Masai Ujiri, who was the general manager when Nick Nurse was the Toronto captain, coach, might have played in that Derby team. Maybe he was a few years later as well. Well, Greg Weil getting his first taste of the action. I'm skewing into random 80s basketball here. Apologies.
Yeah.
Get me back, Z.
Yeah, sorry. Come back with the young, wild and free over
Yeah.
here. Well, Cheshire taking out those guys, emptied the bench and put fresh legs in. And Brenchley misses the free throw, so he won't come into the game till the next step ball.
Here's the lob towards Nicholson. Blows the layup, but gets fouled in the process. So Nick Nurse was 1991 as player coach for Derby. Masai Ujiri was a few years later, so way off on that. Cameron sits down. Brenchley comes in. Operation Nobody Get Hurt continues.
I mean, this whole 5 on the floor, minus Wild, but could start.
Yeah,
Has
yeah,
started,
true.
You know.
I wonder at what point young Lukas Paradish gets into the game. He fancies he's going to get at least a couple of minutes here, or is Ben trying to win the game? That's the question, is, are you trying to win the game, or are you trying to think about next Sunday?
Yeah, no, He won't. Coach Ben won't.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
he likes to stay in the movement.
Skylar White driving to the rim, getting his shirt pulled. Nicholson keeps him upright.
It's a nice
Yeah.
sportsmanship. Shakes that one off.
And we'll go to the line. Well, we said right at the top, Z,
Yes.
you're not going to win by 28
No.
at 100 and whatever numbers I picked, 3,608 or whatever numbers I picked
Another.
at the time.
Yeah.
And that's the problem for Manchester. They've never had a way of stopping Cheshire scoring. 105 with still 4 minutes to go.
106 with the free throw.
106, yeah.
Yeah, and then Manchester's put up 100 points too, you know, like.
But that's no problem for Cheshire. They're happy
Yeah.
to go up and down and be 100-100.
Yeah, but that's what.
They
I
don't
was
need to
saying.
win by 28.
Yeah, that first game just absolutely killed Manchester.
White off the mark. When they reflect back, it'll be that third quarter in Manchester. Jump ball is the call. Possession arrow will stay with Cheshire. They look back at the third quarter, the first leg Manchester. That was the point at which the tie got away from them.
Yeah, yeah, that.
And that is, like it or don't like it, that is the format. And you have to, you can't have a period off across the 80 minutes. You've got to keep playing.
And I think that might be new to a lot of players.
Although Manchester have made a final, so they've already navigated a two-legged.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, and they did in Europe as well. They had a couple of.
Yeah, you should know. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, sometimes the mental lapses of that 2 minutes, that 3 minutes,
Yeah.
where you're just in the depths of the game, and you're thinking, okay, and they go on that run. You have to be constantly reminded, like, come on, boys, we've got to go, you know, back to Ellesmere Port on Sunday. And they let it go, and it was a 30-14 quarter.
Yeah, and they had a spell of 13 consecutive points, and it turned it from something like 8 or 9 to 20. And that was really it. That's the. And then at that point, you've got to dig in. It needs to be back to 10. We can convince ourselves 10 is possible. It can't be 28. And, well, unfortunately for them it is, but fortunately for those Cheshire fans, it's been a pretty stress-free evening, and they've been in celebration mood all the way through, and of course, they love a bit of Sweet Caroline.
Sorry, bring to your attention, we didn't see Mitchell in this second half
didn't.
all. Clearly, coach's decision, potentially not playing him. Kind of went back and forth there in the first half.
Yeah. Lobbed back to Rideau, who has to go almost to the sideline to keep it in play.
Tough pass.
Nicholson, tremendous job to keep that in play. Smith to Jones. Corner three is good, and it's a three-point game.
Good job from Smith to keep that ball in bounds.
Rideau, a little in-out dribble, blocked by Nicholson, gets his own rebound. Brenchley has the room, doesn't go for three. Out it to Cassie, loses the ball. Policelli lays it home.
And that's it, right? Just relentless. Even when you get the rebound, they're all over him. And Policelli wins that battle.
Jones out to Smith. He hits the three. It's a two-point game. A reminder, we won't have overtime if the scores are level. Here's Greg Wild to the rim for the lay-in. Biggest roar of the night for Greg.
Gets a bucket. Bit of an energy push here from Manchester.
Trying to sign off with a win. Little step away from Smith is good for 3, and it's down to 1. Well, it'd be interesting, does Ben call a timeout at any stage to try and win the game? Wild misses the 3. Because he doesn't need to, but it's in the nature of Cheshire basketball to want to win the game. Here's Johnson, doesn't go. Rideau trying to break away. Johnson breaks it up.
Sign me up, sign me up.
Into the final 2 minutes we go here. Last couple of minutes in the Ellesmere Port Sports Village of the season, but not the last couple of minutes for the Cheshire Phoenix. They are heading to the O2 and the playoff final. They're trying to sign off with a win, but the tie has all been sealed already. They're up 4 in the game.
Lovely job from Policelli. It's become really automatic this season from that three-point line.
Jones with the step back doesn't go. Rideau still going. On the pass, the foul is called. Manchester under the limit, so it's going to be a sideline ball. Well, you know that they are ready because they're already telling the fans how to buy their tickets for next week.
Well, I hope so.
I'm surprised there isn't somebody in the corner taking names. Deflected away, double deflection out of Skylar White, and that will be a Manchester ball. Johnson. Lob down to Nicholson. Smith creates some room, doesn't go, rebound Wild. Foul is called as LaQuincy made his way down court. I would have thought, was that last foul not the 3rd and this would be the 4th? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
In fact, it's the 5th. It says 2 on the board. It says, I think the board is behind the count. It's also... Oh, Coach Horton didn't know that it was. So he's not happy about that. Who fouled out anyway? Who was the foul on? Is it Nicholson? I think the scoreboard thing doesn't show 5 on the board. I think they're having an issue with the visual display of fouls.
Head coach Ottoman saying that nobody told him.
Well, they're still debating who's going in. It's Shelton. Nicholson says, I didn't know I had 5. But the book says you do, so therefore you sit down.
Nicholson not saying that he only had 3 fouls. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're a minute and 10. I guess this principle is what they're fighting on, but minute and 10.
Well, we can go back to the free throws. LaQuincy's at the line. First one is good. Poor statisticians getting it there.
Yeah, they are.
It's not even their job, the scoreboard. Rideau makes them both. Look at Rideau playing defense to the last.
Yeah, and that's it. They are. They're going to play.
Arguing the call to the last as well.
Yeah. But either way, you know what? I have to.
You've got to love it.
I've got to love it.
You've got to admire it.
Yeah, you've got to, because you know Zona with that block, Brenchley, then even Rideau playing. You know how he's going to play. It doesn't matter. But
he never takes a play off. Never takes a backward step.
Yeah, and that's okay. You're winning by loads, cool. But as Johnson hits that, you want your foundation and your things that you rely on to be solid still, because you're playing for that final. Don't get sloppy, don't get lazy. play all the way to the finish line. No full court press from Manchester.
Well, they're still trying to win the game down 4. Brenchley through. Good hands from Johnson. It's out of bounds. It'll stay a Knicks ball. Oh, nice cut from Wild and lays it home. Timeout is called by Coach Otten. The fans are so loud they can't hear the buzzer. But it's a 6-point game with 49 seconds to go. And Manchester's still trying to win this one here.
Well, that was their aim coming into this game, just try and get a win. But Wild, with his 4th point of the evening, a great atmosphere here.
Well, that's what I was about to say. All the timeout does is give these Knicks fans a little more time to dance, a little bit more time to celebrate and enjoy the moment.
Absolutely, and they do. They're well deserved. They've been here every game, every Sunday, on the dot, filled out the house, made it a great atmosphere. Really protected home court this season as well. So now another classic, right?
Well, they more often than not, when they come here on a Sunday night, they certainly are always dancing. That's for sure. And they're trying to see it home in some style with 49 seconds to go. They lead by 6. One stop wins the game.
Even got the fatheads coming out.
Well,
as well.
they're always ready.
There he is. Looks just like him. See if they can execute this play that they've drawn up.
It's Jones in the corner for 3. He's got it. Cuts it down to a 3-point game.
Really nice from Jones there. Limping still, but doesn't affect that jump shot.
White, Ura stepping his way through the key off the glass, and Coach Otten is going to burn his last timeout. Again, it's too loud for them to hear. He's going to call another timeout with 24.9 seconds to go. And still trying to keep the season going.
Well, I was going back to Skylar White's Euro stat.
Yeah.
Who does he think he is?
Yeah, you don't see him go left, right too often, do you, like that?
Don't. Here's all our leading scorers down.
3 Manchester players with 20+ on the board. Cheshire, as they happen so many times this season, led by Patrick Robinson. But look at the numbers. 82%, 83%, 63%. It's not just that they're scoring so efficiently. They're 55% from the floor as a team. It's just they're 70% from 2-point range.
Just a great job, right?
Yeah.
Overall, but the numbers still, I've talked about it the whole game, but it's 70 points off of the bench at that high rate. Efficiency as well. So not only are your starters, where you see majority of this league, you know, your starting 5, maybe your 6th, 7th man, but they're putting up 70 points from the bench when you can go there. Really? Well, obviously Robinson kills that, but still, it doesn't matter.
They've got 4 players in double figures off the bench. Off the bench. They've got 8 players in double figures overall.
Got to get the ball in bounds, they do.
Jones gets past 2 players, kicks it out to Smith for 3, and Manchester will not go quietly into the night. They've cut it down to 2, and now Ben Thomas is going to call a time. And the thing was, because of the aggregate, they didn't need any of the timeouts earlier in the half, so they've saved them to the end. And now that they both want the bragging rights of winning the last game, they're using these timeouts. Ben still has 1 more, by the way, after this.
Well, you knew this was going to be the case. But this is how I thought this type of game was going to be Friday. So you can see what that meltdown completely cost them coming into this. it's unfortunate because Manchester's a really good
The reality is the three of the scores of the four scores are 119, 117, 106. That's what these teams do. The outlier, the anomaly, was Manchester only scoring 78.
Yeah, killed them. And they score in the just under 90, I think, this season, 89. And they kept them at 78.
Number 1 and number 2 in points this season. Cheshire at 96. Manchester just shy of 89 points per game.
That was off the top of my head too. Oh,
pretty good, that, Z.
Thank you.
It was the 78 that killed them.
Right. Well, here we go. Let's see what Ben Thomas...
Do they foul? Manchester, do they foul and send them to the line? Presumably they do. Funny thing is, if this was a 5-point game, 6-point game, they'd be dribbling it out. Knocked away. Johnson asking for IRS, but this isn't the EMBL, I'm afraid. Well, that's a tricky pass. He got it to Cameron, and the foul is called against Johnson. So Cameron with a chance to make it a 2-possession game from the free throw line. And that's the 5th foul as well on Jordan Johnson. I don't think he realizes it. Kyle Carey's coming in for him. Now he's been informed.
Yeah, unfortunate. But definitely give Jordan Johnson his flowers for this season. He has. He's been excellent.
Yeah, been excellent.
A shame that he can't finish the game, but...
Oh, I think they've got that wrong.
Oh.
Cameron converts his second free throw, and they've allowed him to come back in. He couldn't normally sub in and out of the game without the clock ticking, but I think because the table made a mistake and it wasn't his 5th foul, he wants to come back in. Well, by rule, you can't leave a game and re-enter a game without the clock ticking. So if he was subbing in and out, then that would be fine. You couldn't make that substitution.
Right.
But the issue here is that he was told he'd fouled out, so he came out of the game. Then he was told he hadn't fouled out, and therefore he wanted to come back in. So I feel natural justice would allow him to go back in. I don't think the rules allow him to go back in, which is unfortunate.
Thank you.
They're all on their feet here in Cheshire. They want to go home now. They want to start the proper celebrations. Here's Smith pulling up for 3. Doesn't go, tip down. Cameron has it. Forward to Skylar White. Back to Rideau. Throws it off the glass. And what a way to finish the season at Ellesmere Port. A highlight play for the Phoenix. They are going to the O2. Wow. They are in the playoff final. And the celebrations begin.
What a play to finish off for these fans. We need to see that over and over again. I thought it was just going to be the behind the back, but the throw off the backboard, Dan, they're showing off. They're ready for the O2 Arena next week in London. So am I.
Well, everybody is on their feet, and the Cheshire Phoenix season will go to the final day. They've been right at the top end of the table all the way through. They've been offensively unstoppable, and they will get a chance.
Here it is.
For a playoff victory, and what a way to go. Look at that incredible fast break play.
And that just shows you a team that are all together. They understand what they're doing. Obviously, it's a highlight. It's very difficult, but boy, I'm ready for next week, Dan. I'll see you there, darling.
Well, the Cheshire Phoenix are also ready for next week. We will have an epic showdown at the O2. It will be London, it will be Cheshire. The number 1 and 2 seeds have navigated their way through to the final. It'll all be on the line next Sunday, and Cheshire will go in buoyant mood to take on the treble winners and try and deny them the clean sweep. Wow, absolutely classic Cheshire basketball here. Manchester played their part in that game. Unfortunately for them, it was all about what happened on Friday. But these Knicks fans don't care one jot. Nothing better than knocking off the noisy neighbors from down the road in the semi-final. And they will have one more go, one more shot next Sunday. And I'm sure many, many of these fans will be grabbing their tickets right now to make sure they are there for a little bit of history. Well, the numbers are ridiculous, as you would expect. Look at 71% two-point rate. They only missed 12 two-point shots all game. That is incredible. The steal slowed down a little bit, but everything else was just volume numbers, as it has been all season long for these Knicks. Well, it's been quite a season for Manchester in their evolution, obviously making it to the final and then making it to the EMBL final as well. They've had some great days for sure, these Manchester fans, as they make their way out, but it ends here today. The journey will not take them to a third final of the season. Well, let's have a look back at some highlights from what in and of itself was quite an incredible game. You look up at the scoreboard, there's 240 points on the board. There are not too many teams that could combine for that sort of volume, but these are the two best scorers in the league, and they showed exactly why here tonight, just going up and down, bucket after bucket. And in the end, they even slugged it out for the win when it didn't really matter which side came out on top in the last 2 minutes. They kept on going to try and get that final victory. And of course, Cheshire did it in absolute style with a spectacular fast break play to seal the win. So Cheshire are on their way to the O2. London and Cheshire next Sunday at the O2. Sheffield against Caledonia in the women's final as well. Tickets available now, access.com. Sunday afternoon down at the O2. Make sure you are there. If you can't be there in person, join us here on DAZN to watch all the action. It will be quite a highlight to end the season. We know our finalists. There is one game left in the Men's Super League basketball this season. The Phoenix will be there. The Lions will take them on. And it promises to be a fantastic finale. Azania and I will both be there next week. Make sure you join us. We'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.
Super League basketball is leveling up British hoops. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.